Is it in? Is it in? Is it in? Hello, hello, this is LiLoLa. Today I'm going to be showing you how to achieve this look. So stay tuned. Hi everyone, it's LiLoLa yet again. We're going to start by priming the inner corner of the eye. That is a white creamy eyeshadow. I'm applying it with my concealer brush. I have a habit of creating a face chart that I follow. You'll be able to see several times that I look to the left of the screen from our point of view, and I'm just comparing it, making sure that the shape that I sketched is the shape that I am applying to my face. Next, that creamy white eyeshadow, I'm setting it with a white pigment powder that has iridescent qualities to it, a bit of copper tones, some pinks in there. And what it does is that it not only sets the white, but because there are iridescent qualities to the powder, it'll pick up any lighting that may be taking place when you're out and about, in a photograph. It really creates kind of a doe eye on the inner corner, and it just thrusts that brow bone forward on the brow bone. Next, I'm taking a loose pink pigment that was actually gifted to me by Seymour Glass, who's one of my absolute best friends. He lives in New York City. He works for different fashion entities and is a writer. I will deeply recommend that you follow him on any social media, and he has a website for you to check out. Now I'm applying a brown contouring shade, and I'm applying it in a very specific shape. I like to cut the brow bone at a diagonal and then really shoot that socket high into towards the eyebrow. I learned this shape from Maddox Madison, who was and will always be in my heart a prolific makeup and hair vlogger. She was amazing. Her makeup techniques are phenomenal. A lot of my application is inspired by her. Some of my first videos on this channel even reference how much of an inspiration she was. I went ahead and applied black shadow on the outside, and now I'm setting it with a black gel liner. This one has a bit of glitter in it, which I'm not a super fan of because I normally like really matte eyeshadow, but it was pretty affordable and it's kind of doing the job. I'm going back and really just cutting out that shape extra precise. I want it to kind of evoke a makeup design that I've seen by Thorgy Thor. She always does this very graphic eyeliner and eyeshadow that I just can't get enough of. So she's someone else that I'd draw your attention towards. I'm taking that pink pigment and both setting that contour color and reapplying it, encouraging the different qualities to blend. I'm softening the outside. And as you can see, I have a little bit of fallout, but that's why I put a lot of setting powder on my upper cheek. Extra saturated pigment is what I like. I'm going to match that with the dress that I'll be wearing, and I'm wearing some red hair, so I really want to pick up some of the deeper reds. And now I'm comparing a lot of what I do to that facial chart that I sketched, but I'm reinforcing that contouring color with a very black, it's almost like a hook shaped cut crease. I like this because it really draws the eye towards that center and then diffuses out slowly when you blend that pigment over it. Now I'm taking a brown, it's a blush, so I'm using it to soften the edges yet again and to really mix with that pink pigment. I'm kind of softening it above the eyebrow. And now my lashes. I do apply glue to the strip of the eyelashes, and then I just press it onto my eyelid and let it dry a bit. That way when I go to apply it, it is perfectly still. And I do start at the center of my eye with my eyelash, and I pull it along the shape of the eyeshadow so that it draws my eye up and out, and it counterbalances that inner corner that I highlighted with that iridescent pigment. I've really been trying to do more makeup techniques where I reinforce that inner cut crease, and so that's what I'm doing right now. And then I am going to apply a nice and thick and present upper eyeliner. I'm winging it up in a shape that aligns with the eyelash so that the eyelash isn't just suspended when I open my eye, that it really has a border to diffuse and create even more depth. Again, going in and just reinforcing as much as I can of that eyeshadow. I now have a pigment that I like to use, and it's a smaller eyeshadow brush that I'm using to apply it so that it creates an even much more harsh gradient. It's that same brown pigment that I use as a blush color. I like to put it right above my cheek so that it creates a dark and deep set eye socket. Now, everybody's favorite part and favorite thing to talk about, and that is the blending. I normally put a lot of banana and white colored setting powder on a few spots on my face, in the center of the forehead, above the cheeks, on the outside of the eye sockets, below the contour, on the chin, and above the lip. And I just use all that powder to just help blend everything together. I don't mind that it washes over. I think that it creates a much more soft and subtle look, but the effect is still present. I'm going in with that black gel liner and setting the eyebrow, making sure that it's defined. I'm basically just filling in my natural eyebrows at the moment, and I'm just going to make them a little more defined, a little more present. And I start from the inner corner and just match it with that socket, and then I try to pull it up just a bit, not too much, and then around where that contouring already is. That way it's present and it's not too sharp, and you can still kind of get a little character out of it because I left the center exposed, my natural brow. But I do shave the outer corners so that I can get some of these crazy bitch brows, as I like to call them, infamously. I do like to make sure that I redefine that eyebrow with a light colored concealer. I'm taking my concealer brush and just going over the top and underneath in the inner corner. This is something that I suppose Roxy Andrew did on RuPaul's Drag Race. However, she kept it really harsh, and I like to just blend it out and create a diffused little moment there. Again, I'm going in and continuing to soften and create a much larger shape now that I have an idea of what the eyebrow is doing, and now that everything is blended, I want to make sure that the eye continues all the way down the nose, and I bring in the center to meet itself there, and I go underneath the tip and just a bit on the bridge, and I smooth it right out. I take again that white eyeshadow pigment almost as a base, and I apply it over my bottom lip, and I just kind of press it upwards because I do want the eye and the lips and different elements to match, because I'm wearing a pink design in the center of my dress cut into an hourglass. I want to make the lips nice and vibrant with that same pigment color. So on the outside I am lining it with a cherry red pencil or a regular red pencil, and just putting it on the outside. And now I'm going to just redefine it. I go right above my lips and underneath, blended it together. Now I'm just going to set all of that with the white pigment as the base. I do love doing matte lips. I think they're much more durable if you're going out, and they're more manageable, and you can really get the pigment to stay, and you're not doing it and touching it up multiple times over the night. They're very straw friendly if you're using a straw in a nightclub, and it's just kind of interesting to have kind of mattified lips. Again, I'm just taking that powder all the way to the outside, and now I am taking that same small eyeshadow brush that I used around my eyes and just continuing to soften that around the edges. I think I'm grabbing a burgundy color or a brown color, kind of a bit of both, just to give it even more depth and to blend in that eyeliner line. I'm going over and using almost like a burgundy colored lip pencil and just creating a base for the shadow that I'm about to apply, so I have a nice ombre lip effect to work with in just a moment. I'm pretty sure I just kept going back and forth on this lip color and really what its message should be, so bear with me. Same way I did with the eyebrow, I'm going to outline the exterior of the lips with a concealer, and I'm going to blend it down and out. On the top of the lip, it's not necessarily a Cupid's bow, but it is a little Cupid's bow moment on the top lip, reinforcing the chin and setting it again with that pink pigment just to kind of blend it. I am really just reinforcing that creamy base that I had earlier. I'm doing it right around the temples, and I do like to bring it in towards the center of the forehead a bit. I do around the chin, down the nose, and I do it right there so that it creates an even deeper brow. Blend things out, of course. I always like to apply things a little bit harsher and then just blend it, because that way they're certainly present in the makeup design. However, it's a last minute step that just saves the day. I would be nothing without my kabuki brush. I use it quite regularly. Now I'm taking that burgundy eyeshadow, which I put on the outside of the lips because I'm wearing burgundy hair. I'm adding a bit of burgundy into the contouring to help make that look a bit more natural. I'm continuing to soften the upper cheekbones to diffuse it ever so lightly. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to leave a comment and subscribe. Take care.